on. We'll make it happen.
But it's
Because
happening.
it's happening, as these things always do. You start rolling the rock down the hill, and it gains a life of its own. It gains momentum. And suddenly
Ev-
we're here at the wrap-up event. What's that about?
I don't know. I kind of pushed the rock over, but I rode the top of the rock. And I feel that I also went under the rock, but it came back over and I found
Hmm.
this.
Yes, and I was brought this and had no input on its purchase, so let's just live with it. Hey friends, it's me, JC Darcy. I use they, she pronouns. I am a white non-binary femme presenting person with hair that's getting long. Um, it's brown. I wear my big black glasses, and I have a new headset, and nobody's commented on it yet. It's new because my other one died. So I am no longer purple and shiny, but I am blue and noise cancelling and comfortable.
Ooh. Those are very pretty. Hello, friends. And hello, friends. My name is Ida. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a Latinx woman of color. I'm immigrant in the Netherlands. I have tan skin, dark eyes, dark hair that is drying and not doing a good job at it. I am wearing a green sweater with a sort of knitted cowl. I think they're called cowl, right?
I
On top.
really like that. And also, I see you two also showered like 20 minutes before stream, as is tradition.
No, I showered 8 hours ago.
Oh, shit. Okay. Just me then. Thank you very much, Ava. Thank you very much, Marcus. And yeah, I join you in that rip, Michelle. The purple headset lasted me like 5 years, which is pretty good. So we can't be too mad.
F in the chat for
F's in the
Darcy's
chat.
old headset. Um, so we can be thankful for that service and we can
Mm,
be thankful for the amazing Women's History Month we had at EUphoria segue.
you're so good at the segues. Do you plan them, or does it just come out?
No, it's one of my talents that include being able to sleep on airplanes. But
Teach me always. But yeah, no, it's been a fantastic month. I feel like I haven't been here for most of it. As I was saying to Ida, I'm feeling incredibly guilty and just want to give all of the laurels and all of the flowers to Ida and Michelle, who project managed this whole ass event and have put in an incredible amount of work behind the scenes. You all don't see it, and that means they're doing a good job. When things go wrong, you see it. Everything has been smooth. The casts have been phenomenal. Please go and check out all the VODs that exist on the YouTube. And lucky you if you are audio preferers, the podcast is starting to roll out. You can go and catch the interview with Kim Richards. Now it's on the YouTube. It's not on the YouTube. I'm talking about podcast. It is on the YouTube, but it's also on the podcast, and you should check it out because it's a great conversation. Kim is wonderful.
we had some amazing, amazing tables. And throughout this whole month that we've dubbed TTRPGirls, which was a name I came to me in a fever dream last year. I'm like, we have to hold this name on. And most of our events at EUphoria are done because Ida finds a cool title or an alliterating one. That's
You
that's
don't
that's
know
her
how
modus operandi.
true that
Sorry.
is.
Summer of Sci-Fi.
That's the only reason.
TTRP girls. Deck the dice.
Deck the dice.
How's
The
Deck the dice?
unfortunately now postponed Mech May of Mechs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be the equally cleverly titled Mechtember. So don't worry
Yeah.
about it. We have a brand, and that's what we're going to stick to.
But TTRP Girls is our month-long celebration of Women's History Month. And the month was about particularly uplifting and spotlighting women, femmes, and people who identify with womanhood within the TTRPG community, and those particularly in Europe and outside the US.
There was a
And
lot of them.
there was a lot of them, and a lot of countries represented with a lot of individual stories, backgrounds, um, ethnicities, identifications, every color of the beautiful queer rainbow flag. We have all the gender representation that we're looking to highlight and uplift here. And we had this such wide berth of stories, and I'm immensely proud of it.
Mhm.
And the uh the uh the video image of everyone waving that I usually have
Yeah.
pinned at mostly for that's gonna get updated and they're gonna get tiny.
That's exciting. That is exciting.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, we're here to talk a little bit about the tables that happened, and then do I think something that has quickly become my favorite thing to do on this channel, which is the creatives that we love, games by European creators, where I don't know, just get to tell each other about games that we haven't heard of, and oh no, the flaw is that we end up spending money. That is a problem. Maybe we should cut down on these streams.
Well, in this case, and in previous instances of this, we are of course focusing on TTRP creators that are outside the US. We are also really focusing on games that are not D&D.
Yeah,
Uh, D&D is great. I've played it for many years. I still like it. I played it last week, earlier this week. It was cool. But games like that tend to take a lot of oxygen in the room. And as much as you love them, you do have enough love in your beautiful giant hearts for other games, and we're here to shout
definitely.
about it. And today's stream in particular are going to be those games by European creatives by people who are also women, femme, and people who have an affinity and identify with womanhood. So narrowing it
Yeah.
further.
It was actually quite hard to find a list. I don't know how you fared, but narrowing it down to European and femme and trying not to go into what the fuck is gender? Let's not make this a 6-hour stream, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
identify as a non binary woman and I will not take questions about what that means because I don't know, okay? I don't know. But finding people that we can absolutely be certain that we are not misgendering, because that's really important. There are femmes, women, and people who identify with those intersections of womanhood. It really narrowed down the field. I couldn't
Yeah,
find enough of them. So we need to have more.
they exist,
They do.
and I love you all. And I'm not. There was a Polygon article that said, "Oh, the dragon is sleeping. Now's the time to get loud." No, we've
Oh,
been loud. But here's where I'm going to respectfully laterally agree.
mhm.
They're loud, but they don't use search engine optimization.
But these are skills that we should workshop.
Yes.
Interesting.
So
Getting that.
we have people who make these games, and I had a struggle bus finding. They're there, they exist.
Yeah, yeah.
But not everyone is comfortable for valid reasons saying, I'm from Spain, I'm from
Hmm.
Sweden,
Yeah,
I identify as this, because the world is otherwise beating them down, like metaphorically, to
absolutely.
say like, no, don't do identity politics. Yes, celebrate
Mhm.
all the wonderful things that make you different and unique, because we're
Yeah.
going to shout about it. And it would be helpful. It helps us. It's not your responsibility, but we're just
No,
saying it helps us shout you more.
exactly.
And then I went hard mode because I'm like, uh, I have amazing friends who are based in the UK, in England, in Scotland, in Wales, and all those parts.
Hmm.
But I'm like, we're speaking English, so I feel there's a bias towards them, which is true.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta find French and
Then you gotta work
Italian and
harder. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spanish. I got them. I
We
took
found them.
liberties, but I got
I've taken a couple of liberties too, so I'm glad that we're going to be understanding and giving each other grace in this difficult time.
them. Yeah, it was not hard to find women and femmes, people who identify with womanhood, for our games this month.
Yes. Yeah.
Not at
Oh,
all.
we were oversubscribed, and the people we had to say no to, we had conniptions about it. We cried real tears that there were people who we were desperate to play with and desperate to get on the channel, but we just didn't have enough spaces. So if you're one of those people who didn't get at a table this time, please, please, please keep applying because we want to roll with you. We want to celebrate you and all the stories that you want to tell.
Mhm.
We've got more content coming up. We are going to take a little bit of a break. At least that's what we've told ourselves. Um, so there will be more opportunities, and maybe at the end we'll tell you a little bit about those.
Yeah.
But we're dancing around the most important topic to talk about, the most important game, I dare say, that we're going to talk about today.
Oh, wow. Oh,
But
wow.
this, have you not heard of this game?
I'm going to talk about the game, and also for transparency reasons, it's because, well, we were going to talk about this game. For be absolutely transparent, we were going to talk this about no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, we
And
were.
then the creator of the game decided to reach out to us and help and wanted to support the channel by having the stream sponsored. I was like, oh, I guess we're going to talk about it extra because this was the plan
Extra.
all along. I still don't see it on the stream
It's
friend.
coming. It's
Okay,
coming.
cool. And this is a game by our wonderful friend Anya. The game is Sail the Oceans Queer. And basically, the wonderful tagline that needs very little explanation, but we're going to go into, is be gay and do crimes on the high seas.
Literally, what more could you want? Thank you for your support in the chat.
This game is now active on BackerKit. You can support the game. You can support queer women TTRPG creators who are based in Europe, who are based outside the US, who
Mhm.
is an immigrant, who makes fantastic games by checking out that link via backer links. And you also support us by doing it because it tells other people, hey, this sort of content is worth sponsoring so that we can give it back and reinvest it in our own local community. So please just go click the link, give it a scroll, get interested. And if you want to be gay on the high seas, then you're really going to want this game.
Yeah. I believe it's really close to a stretch goal, a little birdie told me earlier. So if you win and you haven't already backed it, you could be the person who tips it over the edge. And when you get your game, you will also get 6 pre generated characters, which is so huge for when you drop into your games night and you're like, guys, fellas, it's getting gay up in here. And you can just push those characters across the table to your friends and say, there you go, we're in.
Beautiful.
Accessibility, being able to pick up and play a game, especially when it's something that is not what your table maybe normally plays, if they are resistant to the D&D's changing. Just being able to say, look, here we go, let's get into it. It's based on Caltrop Core, which is a beautiful, simple system that allows you to roll your d4s, which you know that you don't normally get to do
Mhm, mhm.
unless you're a wizard and you're doing lots of magic missiles. Then okay, but it's a beautiful, simple system that Anya has done a fantastic job adapting and just making beautiful. The art is by I'm going to say the name wrong because I can't remember. Fail Draws, who does a lot of art for High Rollers. It's
Oh.
beautifully put together. I mean, Anya is great at doing like that design, um, like the character sheets. Beautiful, excellent, phenomenal. And he's in the chat, 100 euros away from the next stretch goal. We have 12 people in here viewing. You could make that happen here and now. And wouldn't that be beautiful for TTRP Girls Month? Go make it happen if you can.
And knowing Anya, Anya really goes out of her way to work equitably with the people that she hires.
Hmm.
People are also getting livelihoods and are finding joy and professionalism in these kind of projects.
Yeah.
And having seen Anya at conventions, the audiences agree.
It's true.
100%. The audiences absolutely agree. Here are all the wonderful pledge levels that, thanks to the community support, the game gets even bigger and better.
Hmm.
The art gets gayer.
Yes. Rainbows. Rainbows everywhere.
Rainbows, rainbows everywhere.
And look, you can even add on copies of Anya's other games. So if you haven't picked any of those up, now is the perfect time.
They are wonderful journaling solo TTRPGs. They are handy to play in a pinch. They are really cozy, easy, relaxed
Mhm.
vibes. We don't always have to be saving the world from an apocalypse, which is cool. But sometimes you just want to be a hedgehog living in a mushroom
I want that
with
all the time. Save me from
neighbors who might be
capitalism.
having problems. And that is tea and toadstools, absolutely.
Oh my
Uh,
god. Okay. Everybody, how do we make that happen, Anya? Anya says Phil's working on a sapphic enemies to lovers picture for the drawing for the game right now. And that is content aimed directly at my heart. So
ah,
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need a copy of that.
it's like in every game when, oops, the GM made the BBEG hot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oops. Mm-hmm.
internally, of course, we're shipping them. We're like, oh, we can fix them. We can fix them. But now that isn't a joke anymore, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe we can actually apply the power of love
Hmm.
and hand holding and soft gay kisses.
Yes, please. Yes, yes, please. I'm sold. Like you don't need to keep talking. I'm sold. I'm all in.
If you want to check it out, please click the link that is pinned in the chat, that is below in the description,
Hmm.
and support games from Lionne Publishing. Thank you so much for sponsoring our stream, Anya.
Thanks, Anya.
Thank you, everyone, for being excited about our growing, local, and very personable, approachable community. We all collectively built that. It's something I think we should all be really proud of.
Yeah, we should.
Ah,
I'm just thinking back to the chat that I caught up on after I came back from all my errands today. It was wild in that Discord. You guys were wild. But it's good fun. Go and join it if you haven't already.
yes, absolutely. So absolutely, because we need to do the lines for the reels that I'm going to make.
Mm,
Absolutely support Sail the Oceans Queer TTRPG by Lionne Publishing, who is based in Germany.
beautifully done. Beautifully done.
Yeah. We got more games to talk about.
We got so many games. I'm going to segue into one that is going to tie into the content that we planned for this month and unfortunately haven't got to dig into yet.
Gremlins.
One of the games that, the tech gremlins, we were saying as we were going live, we haven't lost a game yet. We're going to get them on the air. We're going to do it at a different pace. Sometimes that's fine. We need to wait for the tech gremlins to go away. But when we got our pitches from our GMs, I think this was probably the game I was most drawn to on a personal level, thinking this is
Hmm.
the one I would want to play. You've seen it because of Tech Gremlins. That's the wrong screen. I'm just having a fucking mare today. Nope.
Oh.
Where is it? Let's get rid of that. There we go. We did it. We did it live. This is Why We Fight by Stop, Drop, and Roll Games, who are based here in the UK. They are a queer collective of games designers, and storytellers. And they have put together this wonderful zero prep, GMless, with solo rules, emergent narrative solar punk game.
Solar punk.
Solar punk just makes you happy in your core, doesn't it? It's Why We Fight, and it is about fighting fascism. And I don't really know why anybody would want to play a game like that right now, but if it sounds like a wild fantasy that you may enjoy embracing, this could be for you. The setup is the apocalypse has arrived. The world as we know it is not in existence anymore. Capitalism has won. Fascism has won. And
Hey.
from the ruins of the old world, we've got to rebuild. We've got to rebuild the kind of world that we want to see. And it's not fascism. It's mostly anarchy. It's communal. It's helping people. It's looking after one another, building a community of people who are diverse and talented and bring what they can and receive what they need. It's it sounds like such a fantasy right now, but it's not. It's a world that can exist if you know how. And I just love the idea of getting to explore the possibilities of what can exist, what the future can look like, even when you've lost everything. Because sometimes it feels like the world is crashing down and we don't know what is going to be on the other side. This, you build your characters, everybody has somebody that they control, and you go on journeys with them and you go and see what you can see. You find people who need help, who need medical supplies, who need food. You help them set up a sustainable veggie garden. Maybe that's what they need. And sometimes you got to go and smash anarchists literally directly in the face. You got to
Oh no.
sabotage their work. You've got to stop them from being the bad guys that they want to be. It's just so smooth, and again, that accessibility of picking a game up and being able to run with it. There's no forward planning. I know some people, hello, I see you in the chat, like a bit of DM prep, like getting to come up with interesting monsters and put together plans, but this comes out of what you put together. And I'm a big fan of emergent narrative. Um, you build your characters and you see what they want to do. You see what's important to them. You go and you meet some NPCs and you find out what they need, and you can make it happen. It's just a big old power fantasy.
I also love the previous game also had this, how unapologetic it is about who this game is meant to
Yeah.
spotlight, celebrate,
Hmm.
who we want at those tables.
Yeah.
We are unapologetically very clear. If it wasn't clear,
Hmm.
we have people of color. We have people who are clearly. I, it's I don't know how appropriate to say that are visually queer, but my gaydar is
Mm.
exploded in the right way.
I mean, yeah, look at these people.
I mean, yeah,
Every single one of them is
we
gay,
have
calling it
different
right now.
we have different age representation, body representation,
Yes. Yeah.
unapologetically.
Yeah.
And I love it when games are just like, we're not beating around the bush here.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Wear your morals on your sleeve. That is definitely what this game does. This is also on back a kit right now. I believe it finishes on April 3rd, so you've still got time. It's 260% funded, so this game is going to exist. But there are stretch goals. There's all sorts of beautiful books involved in the bundles that you can mix and match. There's like a core book and a quick start, so you can decide if this is the kind of game that you are going to play once or twice with different groups, or if this is something that you're going to get really stuck into and do longer term campaign, perhaps. I love it when you given options. Love that. Please go and check it out. Why We Fight by Stop Drop Roll Games. And we didn't get it on the air, but by God, I'm going to. So, sometime in April, Steph, who is one of the designers, is going to run this game for a phenomenal table who was so excited to play and got all dressed up in their cosplays. And then, unfortunately, we had a cast illness. And you know how we do here. We always tell people to take care of themselves first and foremost. It's just a game. We'll get it on the air, but we will get it on the air.
We will. So we will check our socials, keep apprised. We have it on Discord as well when we have it, like the events pop up. Uh, they're excited to play. We're excited to see them play, and
So
I
excited.
think more people should be really going like excited about this game overall and the message it's sending. Thank you
Definitely.
so much to Stop Drop and Roll for having games like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be I have a bit of a pivot.
It's a massive pivot,
A
but
bit of a
isn't
pivot.
that a beautiful thing, though, to be able to show off all the different types of games that women and feminine and people who identify with womanhood can create? Because we don't fit in a fucking pigeonhole.
Yeah.
What you got, friend?
I got a slightly cozier game.
Oh, I love this game.
You familiar with this game?
I know this one, yeah.
Yeah, I have to find the games. Like I'm like, there's gonna be probably good games and good beans in this package. Oh, there's a million games in this package. A positive problem
Hmm.
to have from TTRPGs for Trans Right Texas from 2 years ago.
Yes, all those charity bundles. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
scrolling through those.
I have a game called Wise Women by Aleksandra Brokman, who is Polish but based in the UK. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
the liberties
Mm.
that we mentioned, and in this game, you're witches. You're cozy witches, and you have to protect the forest, the woods that you live in, and protect your local community. You have the means, you have the power to help make it prosper. And as witches, people who see people who are different, who are strange, as something scary, something to be feared, and that might be a challenge in your game. So you have choices to make as well. Will the witches continue to strive to protect and improve their community, or will prejudice drive them to lash out and turn to violence and dark magic?
We love that there's an option because we love a bit of dark magic and retribution.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And also, a lot of this game is very focused on Polish and Eastern European lore. So I love it when writers and designers bring their personal cultures and their backgrounds into the story. I
Hmm.
love seeing that sort of broader representation in a more quote unquote authentic way as well.
Mm.
So excellent done to Aleksandra for that.
And
And
it's
if
like
you go ahead.
it looks even just the itch page looks so pretty, and looking at the bits of layout, ah, it's so beautiful. It reminds me so much in like layout terms of the Herbologist's Guide. I don't know if you've
Mm,
got those by like Anna Urbanek. I've got that one, and it's a very similar like vibe of taking the natural world and using the magic within. Again, like using what you've got to make potions and spells and put hexes on people. That is
yes.
such a vibe.
Or injure a victim's legs.
Maybe if the victim has really pissed you off this week. Absolutely.
I mean, witches, we don't deserve witches. Witches are beautiful, wonderful people. They have been blessed and selected by nature. And if they got to go out of their way to be vindictive to harm, um, you probably had
So
it
be
coming.
it. So be
You had
it.
it coming. So definitely check out this game.
Mm.
Um,
Pitch this game to Euphoria, please, and cast me in it.
woo,
Thank you.
woo. Yes, yes. We did mention before that our pitch form is temporarily closed because we got to
It
get through a
is.
lot of planning. We have some amazing games coming up, but once that is open, I would love to see games like the ones we're
Mm.
talking about, or these games specifically, probably pitched to us because we love seeing people from Europe pitch the games that
Yes.
they've written and they're excited about because it highlights the talent that is in our community, like
100%.
Wise Women, the game.
Yeah. I think we're getting close to the end of our planning for the form, so it might open soon-ish. Start working on your pitches. Thanks very much. I will take that as a personal favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What other games we got?
We got loads more games, friend.
Holy moly.
There we go. Oh, that's not really showing up very well. So this is less of a game. These are 7 scenarios that have been put together by a creator I just discovered called Sarah Cole. Now, I discovered
Ooh.
Sarah Cole because I think I mentioned this in the last European creatives that we love. I think I mentioned Terminus, which
Yes.
was also a system agnostic scenario based in the London Underground, which just tickled my little fancy so very much. And then I discovered that I had missed a previous Kickstarter for Darkened Hill and Dale. 7 rural horror scenarios set in modern Britain. Again, how dare you aim this content directly at my heart? I absolutely adore content, be it games or supplements, that is so heavily, inextricably rooted in the location in which it is set, especially when that location is personal to the creator. It was one of the thoughts that led us to create Euphoria, to have those games that were by European people set in European areas. Um, and so this has just hit me, and I'm so mad that I missed the Kickstarter. But thankfully, fulfillment is happening. So I'll be able to order it very, very soon. And when I do, I'm
Ooh.
not going to stop talking about it. Again, pitch this to Euphoria, please, please, please. They are system agnostic, so you can use
Ooh.
Boston, you can use Mothership, I guess. That's not a great idea. Don't follow that advice. Whatever horror system floats your boat. Vaesen would be really good for it, I think. They're fairly lightweight. They vary in tone from cosmic to folk horror. It's only a few pages long. Again, you could jump into these scenarios fairly quickly. It could be if you're in a Vaesen campaign, for example, and you'd need to fill some content. These could slip right in. We've got a beautiful wedding turning into a violent bloodbath, but nobody remembers anything about the ceremony. We've got a you've got to love a horror slash murder mystery set at a village fair. If you've seen Hot Fuzz, okay, this is the vibe, but way more horror. Um, like a missing church bell, the rusted ruin of an aeroplane. I'm so interested in that one. That's very like Twilight Zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that.
They're all very varied. They're all really, really grabbable hooks. And I just love that idea of content as well. Like, I'm not going to write a game. I'm just going to give you a scenario. I'm just going to give you a hook and fill out some of the details. And then you get to run with it. Because I, as a GM, love that content to use as well. I don't do so well, as I've learned recently, with like fully set out scenarios. But give me a hook. Give me some clues and some backstory, and I feel like we could run with that. I feel like that would make excellent content. So yeah, that's Darkened Hill and Dale by Sarah Cole, and you can order that really, really soon.
Super cool. I'm not a game designer by trade or even by curiosity. So I really respect when people do make their games in their setting system agnostic.
Mm,
I can't imagine. I can't. That feels like it takes even way more effort because you have to draw outside the lines and consider all the lines that are actually
mm,
invisibly there.
true.
That's really cool.
That's very cool. And I haven't got it on this screen, but I've immediately followed Sarah on Blue Sky, and she's like they're packing them all up in like 250 backers or something, 250 parcels
Sweet.
to deliver. But she's there posting the pictures of them all, like all the artwork. They look like
Oh,
beautiful little hardcover books, and then I think there's also like A5 zine versions as well. They look really well done, really beautiful, like that kind of um, pastoral artwork that just conjures up those images of the village fair and all the sheeps and the rolling beautiful green hills. Intrinsically British, it's beautiful.
Now that you've mentioned it, I've absolutely seen those photos
Right.
of the woman completely surrounded by the encroaching piles of folded cardboard
I
boxes.
mean, we see that fairly regularly in the TTRPG scene, but yes, that happened very recently.
Uh, Support local
Fucking
business owners.
100%.
Support the TTRPG designers are effectively in business for themselves. I don't know necessarily if it's full-time job for everyone, but unfortunately we have the capitalism and we have to pay some bills. But I think it's great that if that some of that can come from a joy and a love and fermenting
Mm.
hobby and creativity. And if you have a few cents left over in your couch, send them the way of all the creatives we're listing and women and femme and people from marginalized communities all
Yes,
over.
please.
If you can, the capitalism. As Ricky says, we have
Yeah,
capitalism,
we
unfortunately.
unfortunately, we have a capitalism. Like, that's just Marxism summed up. It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, the other way.
Don't think about it too deep. Yeah.
I was just thinking in the other game we were playing, that is the Patreon exclusive. I was
Ah,
like, oh, as part of my wrap up scene, I guess maybe the little piglet and I were reading Karl Marx Communist Manifesto. What the heck does
that
this mean out of context, Ida? You have to join our Patreon to find out
that's
more on
the
that
best
later.
advert for this game. That was the end of the game. I had this character and a piglet reading Karl Marx. You have to go and watch that game. It was the most fun.
More information on that later. Uh,
Absolutely.
I have another game. I have an adventure more to say.
Yes. The
I have an
artwork. The
I have an
artwork.
adventure by a friend, and the artwork is fantastic because said friend is also the artist. I'm talking about a friend of the channel, part of our award-winning Vampire the Masquerade 3 City revamp
Hey.
AP, Jen Vaughn, who is an American based in France. And Jen has created an adventure for Brindlewood Bay called The Creeping Hour. If you're unfamiliar with Brindlewood Bay, it is a powered by the apocalypse game ish,
Ish.
where you are bitty little cute bitty ladies, maybe retired. Basically, you've lived a long life and you have no more fucks to give and you have no more. So you're just gonna do whatever the hell you want,
I
and
relate to
that
that very
includes
hard.
um, a murder was done. Oh, we have to get to the bottom of this. This cannot stand.
In my village? Hell no.
No. And Jen has created an adventure for Brindlewood Bay called The Creeping Hour. Are you a keeper or GM of Brindlewood Bay looking to craft a dark conspiracy and void mystery with seasonal spice at your gaming table? With this new origin for the midwives of the fragrant void and their own child of Persephone to raise from the depths of the ocean, your game table will be appreciating shifts in the weather and seasonal events in a new light.
Ooh.
So that's something I'm also learning about Gen is that they really like to apply not just the location, but
Mm,
hyper local things that happen within specific seasons in that hyper local location.
yeah, absolutely. I love Brindlewood Bay. I've never got to play it. It's one of
Me
those
neither.
ones that has sat on my shelf and I've just
It
looked at longingly forever.
it's on my list of I want to play Brindlewood Bay this year.
Oh, if only there was an AP of Brindlewood Bay coming up on a channel that we knew anytime soon. This is not you don't have to cast us, Jen, don't worry. But what if
Information.
you did?
What if you did?
There is some again that like intrinsically what I really love, what I'm discovering as we look through all these games and we find these games that are regional and local and based on folklore, it's that shorthand, it's that cultural shorthand that you can share with people who get like when you say that there is a Brindlewood Bay mystery set around the Great British Bake Off, that fills in so much of the atmosphere and it informs your character so much, and you know what you're getting in for. And I feel like it cuts through so much of the difficulty,
Hmm.
especially if you were to run that for like new players who have never played a TTRPG, to have that scenario or no, that word's enough. A scenario that they can understand and relate to, and a character that they're going to build who is somebody that they may know. It's the kind of person that they run into on the park bench or at the supermarket. The ability to cut through jargon and confusion with, you know, this, you relate to this, now have fun with it.
Hmm.
I discovered that that is a sweet, sweet nut for me.
Especially as all of us mostly based in Europe, where I'm I'm a have an American nationality. I was born and raised in the US, and it was only after leaving where I realized and talking to other people, it's like we take a lot of things for granted that are based in the US. I remember having a
Hmm.
conversation with someone about the Strixwood D&D
Yes.
campaign that was setting out,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
had to do with after school clubs and all this thing.
Hmm.
And I was talking to someone who was like, "What's that about? I don't know what
Mm.
that's like." I'm like, "That is very Europe. That is very American, like having band practice after school and
Hmm.
sororities and this kind of thing."
Very much the sorority thing, yeah, and, like,
Mhm.
prom, that wasn't a thing. Let's age ourselves, that wasn't a thing when I was coming up. I think it is a thing that has been adapted because as we do, we adopt so many things because media, just the osmosis. Teaching my daughter to read at the minute, I say teaching, she's there, she already knows how to do it, but my husband's reading her a book, it was an alphabet book, and it was A to Z. I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? In this house, we say Z, bitch. Don't you dare. Don't
Nothing
you
sounded
dare feed
abnormal
her
when
these
you said
things."
Z.
That's why you didn't react. You were
Oh,
like, "Uh-huh, correct,
uh-huh.
the alphabet. No, 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 no. A to Z, and I will die on that hill."
That is A-okay. We support and love our differences, and they can coexist.
Not in my house.
On the internet, in your house, fair. That is fair.
Sure.
Mhm, mhm,
She
mhm.
she calls them tomatoes, and I'm not okay with that. She has to stop watching American media immediately. They're tomatoes. Again, because you didn't react, they are tomatoes.
Potatoes.
Incorrect. Moving swiftly onwards, is there anything else you would like to say about Brindlewood Bay? About
That
this adventure?
that as Ifa said, Jen is the Brindlewood Bay.
Siri, ban Ava from the chat, please.
Siri, make Afa moderator. That's a joke.
No.
That is a joke. We can't ever take that back. Absolutely, come support. If you want this really cool local, hyper seasonal, add spice flavor to your Brindlewood Baby campaign, definitely check out The Creeping Hour by Jen Vaughn of Haunted Vault Studios, who is based in France.
That is $3.99, and that's a steal. Please go and buy that immediately. I just got paid today. I'm going to spend a lot of money after the stream.
Thank you for doing the capitalism. Uh,
Fucking hate the capitalism.
but you don't hate the next game you're going to talk about.
I really, really don't. So this is not a game. This is a supplement. So I've got a twofer here. I'm hitting two countries. You may have heard of a little game called Paint the Town Red, coming
Whoa.
from our friends at Soul Muppet very, very soon. That Kickstarter was incredibly successful, and they did a great job. There is already third-party content for that game.
Oh,
A third-party content license does exist. Email Zach if you want to know more about it. And Marcus, she, they, has written a setting for Stockholm in Sweden. This is Paint Stockholm Red.
love
You're
it.
interested, right? Again, taking that game and putting it in somewhere that they know so well. But because of Paint the Town Red is about vampires who are immortal and about tracking their like their lives and the escapades that they get up to across eons. Um, Paint the Town Red settings are often historical, and so this is set. There are actually three different portions to this, three different adventures.
Oh,
One set in 1523, one set in 1783, and one set in 1912. So
history
you can
nerds.
history nerds get on this, right? Michelle is all in already. She loves this. Um, I was like, I really love the 1912 one. I like a recent modern history because I feel like that's just
It's
easier to
easier to
sink into as
cosplay.
a yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine the cosplay? But interesting, like Stockholm was one of the first cities to host the Olympic Games outside of Greece. The first one was Paris, and then I believe the third or the fourth one after that was Stockholm. And so, interestingly, there are NPCs that you will find in all three of those adventures because they're vampires, they're the undead. And you can start a game early on in the history of Stockholm and track these NPCs and track the history of the city and of the country around it as an undead witness. And I just think that is so, so
What?
cool because you can arrive. One of the points of Paint the Town Red is that you basically travel because you can't stay in one place for too long because people will
Because
notice that
no,
you're
you.
not aging. So you have to move around. And also you're an absolute undead disaster and you're going to make people upset. You're going to have to leave eventually because you're going to cause too much of a ruckus. So the idea that eventually once this game is out and people get to grips with it, there is going to be third party content for like every major city on the planet makes me really excited. The idea that you
Mm.
could start a campaign, and I think the game lends itself best to campaigns. Having ran a few one shots, would love to get stuck into it. The idea that you can pick up a setting and be like, time skip 200 years, you're in Stockholm, you're in New York, you're in Tokyo. It's just, right? You're thinking of the possibilities, and it's
I'm
so
thinking
exciting.
paint the EUphoria Airbnb red.
Pitch it. Start working on your pitch. Thank you.
I got
Thank
a
you
month
very
and a
much.
half.
You got a little bit of time.
Oh no.
But like Zach has worked with Marcus on this to get it all accurate. There's NPCs in there, there's locations in there, there's events. You can't go wrong. You could get stuck in, and even if you've never been to Stockholm, which I haven't, you'd learn all about it. You can pick that up on Itch.io now. It's incredibly reasonably priced for what you get. There's Paint Stockholm Red by Marcus Falk, who is in Sweden. You're
Kick
welcome.
ass. Love it. Love it. Thank you, TTRP Girl Stream, for illuminating me to all these amazing local games by women and femme
Mhm.
creatives. I was looking up major sources to see, like, oh, have lists been circulating about Women's History Month and those creatives? Maybe my feeds are not properly set up, but I really couldn't find any. And I was
Maybe
like,
they're not using SEO exactly.
ah, use keywords.
Coming soon to EUphoria SEO workshops with Ida.
Oh no!
But you
Jump
knew
through
about this
recipe.
game. You knew
Yes,
about this game previously, didn't you?
I knew about this game that I'm going to be talking about now as well.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom,
Boom.
boom.
It's there.
Yes,
Go
it's
for it.
this game. It's this game called When the End Comes, and it is by my dear friend Sandra Catharin, who is based in the Netherlands. When the End Comes is a horror game with amazing mechanics that sort of build off on your stress, build off on spookiness happening around you. It sort of has a bit of PvP flavor baked in because when there is a murderer behind you. Um, I love working together. I love friendship and camaraderie. But with all love and respect, better you than me.
It's every woman for herself.
Indeed. And if you have a table that, of course, is communicative, that really cares highly about communicating and safety tools, then absolutely this sort of game is for you. Sandra herself is an amazing horror storyteller. She is going to be at Raincon. She was going to run Rassen, but unfortunately, the spoons and mental health is not allowing this time. And I also incredibly applaud Sandra for making clear and respecting those limitations. I can really imagine that it there can feel a lot of pressure to like, no, the show must go on, and it's hard to say no and step back and take care of yourselves. It's right to do so. It's important to do so because you teach others around you that that is okay to do. So thank you, Sandra, for being open with that. And I also want to thank Sandra for being a great storyteller, particularly with this game. Disclaimer: I got to play this last year on a March Women's History Month stream as well. Sandra has been someone I wanted to play with for a long time. She also runs a lot of really hyper local Vampire the Masquerade games as well. Someone we're trying to get into the channel. Who knows if we're going to get lucky. Uh, very simple mechanics. Very simple a way to adapt to various settings. Are you in a haunted theater? Are you in are you the last guests leaving a circus? Is there you can follow the wonderful old tropes of like abandoned campgrounds or abandoned houses, but there's always some sort of awesome psychological twist you can bring into it. There are rules. When your PC does inevitably die, someone is going to die. You can keep on playing, and I think that is really cool. You have tables you can roll on, so you can immediately figure out a game story really quick. This game does work well for one shots. I understand it also does work well for short campaigns as well. If you can keep that psychological thriller kind of going at a sweet, sweet, slow, terrifying pace. Obstacles you can potentially roll for. No cell service. Terrifying. No matter where you are this time at this day and age. Terrifying. Betrayal. The light goes out.
Betrayal. I love
Everyone is
that.
isolated. The killer is behind them.
I love that. We love a good betrayal.
We love a good betrayal.
We
Oh,
really
look.
do.
I'm putting my mouse around. That was the game we got to play into on a different life. But it was a wonderful game. And I hope I see a lot more of Sandra in the community. I hope I get to see a lot more Dutch
Mm.
creatives and indie designers, especially next week at World Initiative Con in Ewijk outside Nijmegen in the Netherlands. So we'll see how our community is expanding. This has been When the End Comes, which is a game by Sandra Catharin, who is based in the Netherlands.
And if you're going to RinCon and you see Sandra, say, "Hey, did you know EUphoria are going to open up their GM pitch form soon? You should really consider pitching, because we'll be planning for October, so that would be good."
I've had Sandra in my DMs, but scheduling is always the biggest BBEG.
For October, really, we're far enough out. Come on, friends. Come on, friends. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. Okay. This is where I'm taking liberties, okay? This is
Liberties.
outside of the US, which is technically part of our remit, but it is not inside of Europe. But
Mm-hmm.
this is such a specific and intriguing, and I know it will be. Some people are going to see this and gasp and go, "Oh my god, where has this been my whole life?" They will relate to it on a deep, deep personal level. Okay, I'm aging myself. I know I'm aging all the time, but did you ever think, well, hell, I wish I had a small collection of games based on the work of Tracy Chapman just for myself.
Oh my God.
Right?
I know what you're. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Fiction in the Space Between by Pidj, who is in Australia. And I believe this is part of Pocketopia? Pocketpedia? I can never say it right. Maybe I'm dyslexic. I don't know. But look at it, for crying out loud. I didn't know I needed this. How did anybody decide that there was an entire zine's worth of games from the work of Tracy Chapman? Well, of course there is, because her work is so real and so relatable and so about emotion and experience. Of course that there are so many stories to be found inside. Thank you, Pocketopia. Thank you, Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that alone had me incredibly intrigued. But there was something about the scope of this project that just, again, I'm nearly 40, okay? I remember the zine days when it wasn't just on the internet, it was real zines. And that is what is being made here, okay? A scrappy, photocopied zine inspired by the songs of Tracy Chapman, but completely unaffiliated for legal reasons. It will be shaped like a CD booklet and will be filled with role playing game paraphernalia, solo, duet, many player games, moves, an inventory system, and safety tools.
My millennial heart.
Kids in the chat, a CD used to be how you played music, okay? And you would buy a new album or a new single and you would take it home and you would slide the little booklet out of the frame on the front
The
and never
lyrics.
with the lyrics and with hidden messages and Easter eggs. And you would read like the track listing and see who was playing bass on that track just because you could. And then after you'd done that 75 times, you would catch it on the little bump thing that's meant to hold it in, and it would be all raggedy on the edge. You don't know you're fucking born, all right? With your CDs, with your TTRPGs and your internet. I just think that is so beautiful that Pidge is committed to this so completely. This is a CD based TTRPG. Everybody listened to Tracy Chapman's albums on CD, so why not stay true to that heritage? It will never be reprinted. This is a one time run. because
Man.
that's how it was when you made a zine. You didn't get to like listen, Ida, did you make your own zines in your bedroom when you were a teenager? Come on, we've all been there, we've all done it. We wrote our fanfic out and we stuck stickers on and little pictures, and it was a one of a kind. Like it was never to be repeated. There's something really beautiful in the uniqueness of that that just again stabbed me directly in my little heart. And then the ideas for the games and all the paraphernalia. Obviously, the most iconic song has just the most beautiful idea for a game. Fast Car is an asymmetrical two-player game where one of you works shifts playing clock solitaire and the other customizes your fast car. It's just genius. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it just look at it. A mock-up of the physical zine printed as a CD booklet. It makes me feel so old. It's beautiful.
It's
But
gorgeous.
also you can get it digitally if you're like a
That's
Gen
okay.
Alpha or whatever.
Well, that's okay. So it's accessible.
Yeah, we love
Costs are
accessibility.
costs are a thing.
Yeah,
Readers, screen readers. I heart that. I heart that very
yeah.
much. I was the friend that had like the I I copied CDs for friends. I was that person.
Yes, same. So yeah, that is Fiction in a Space Between, a Tracy Chapman TTRPG fanzine by Pidj Sorensen, who is from Australia. It is part of Pocketopia. There has 6 days left running on all of those projects, so you can go and get them. And if you back enough of them, like my foolish ass, then you get stickers or something. I don't
Mm.
know. It's like a stamp quest thing, and my I just went, yes, back more things, of course. Going back as many of those as you can. Sail the Oceans Queer is part of that project as well, so go and back that if you haven't already. I'm going to drop the chat command one more time. Um, and that's it. I'm all out. Those are all my games.
To all your games.
Those are all my games.
I have one more as well.
Okay, let's
I
look at
got
your
one
last
more.
one.
Yeah.
You saved the best to last.
This is a game called Donjon and Doudous by I never
Look
know
at
how
it.
to pronounce this word no matter what language it is. Axolotl.
Axolotl.
Axolotl. Dungeon and Dodos by Axolotl. Axolotl is based in France, and they are a group of mostly femme and queer TTRPG designers. And they have
Perfect.
lots of these adorable, family friendly, cute games like Dungeon and Dodos. Dungeon and Dodos, my French is really, really bad. Oh, look, it's in English. Perfect. A narrative, tender, funny, and non violent one page dungeon that is very suitable for children. Play with your family. Get your children and other children addicted to TTRPGs,
Oh,
storytelling, reading comprehension, and critical thinking with cute,
from
adorable animals.
5 years old, I could play that with my daughter. That's adorable.
Look at this. How cute.
Donjon
Uh,
Doudous.
so because you're probably running for working with children, it's going to be fairly easy to set up because kids are not going to understand like the high intricacy mechanics that we know of dungeon crawl games exactly. Um, this gaming group has a lot of similar games in this run as well. I'm happy that I came across it. I believe it was
Mm,
part of a bundle that a friend of ours did put together. It was either Callum or Rolist that put together a list of French TTRPGs. And that's how I
mm.
came across it. So thank you for curating those spaces so that I can
Yes.
find it and shout out about it. That is good search engine optimization.
Yeah, it's crucial, you see? It's like you were saying about like people who are running their own business. Like when you're doing that, you have to do everything. You do your writing and your design, yes, but then you have to do your own marketing. You have to be your own business manager. Nobody tells you how to do these things, and everybody's trying their best. So I'm really glad that we have all these people who are there to support other people doing the same thing, trying to lift one another up and trying to get eyes on games like this. Le temps cherche maison.
Look at these adorable little simple one-page games that are just very um, family friendly, cute, lighthearted. Again, sometimes it's
Mm.
good to punch pacifism, but sometimes it's okay
Yeah.
to just like be adorable
No,
little foxes.
je pense à toi. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my goodness. I heart this.
I don't
Uh,
know enough French to know what that game is about, but I'll figure it out, dude.
a courier of self-love. How sweet.
Take the time to write some words of love. Oh,
Just
that's
wonderful,
lovely.
just wonderful, simple prompts. And again, we're focusing on communities that don't won't work primarily in English, or English is not their first language. And because we live in this global universe where the majority speak English, a lot of these designers are going out of their way to try and also add English. And English is a difficult language. Particles don't make sense. Why is it taking off and taking on, even though the verb is the same, in completely different meanings? This was really hard to explain to a TEFL class, for
Mhm.
example. So
Why do oversee and overlook mean two different things? What's that about, English language?
I don't know. So I really laud companies that are also doing this to try to step out in English.
Yeah.
Um, it's an amazing effort. It's worth being rewarded for. But if you have the means, if you're multilingual, if you speak French, if you have little kids, or you always want to play a cute little game about Dungeons and Dodos, go play Dungeons and Dodos by the French TTRPG game designing group called Axolotl.
That is gorgeous. I'm gonna boot up Duolingo and switch over and try and polish up my French so that I can play that because that is so cute.
This game was created by Magic of Doudous. Oh, soft toys, right? I think that's another translation for. You're so cute.
Adorable.
It's so cute. So
Oh, stuffies. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. You see, I've learned some more French today. The
yeah,
little panda. I love
yeah.
that.
I did have one more game. I'm not going to put it
Go
on
for it.
screen.
No, go for it.
I'm not going to put it on screen because it's technically not by women or femme designers.
Fair.
I just want to give a quick shout out because I saw it on the socials and I thought it was cool. Because with the title like Nuns with Guns,
Oh, God, you've set Afer off. I can hear Afer in the chat already, screaming.
she knows about this game. I think she shared it in the Discord as well, and I was like, yeah. It's by Parable Games, based in the UK, and it's about. I don't know what it's about. With a title like Nuns with Guns, what the heck
Couldn't.
do you think it's about?
Is it a Brindlewood Bay module? If not, why not?
Let me double check here.
It's not. It's actually
It
not.
it it, it could be. It should be. It's a gritty nun TTRPG about punching demons and saving the world.
I absolutely love the inclusion of the adjective gritty nun TTRPG, as if there are different flavors of nun TTRPG available. This one's gritty. If you want comfy, you need to move on down the line.
Create your own grizzled sister to fight against the unseen evil. So you're a
Wow.
gritty sister or grizzled sister?
You choose. They're customizable.
Sisterhood is about searching for meaning and faith in a world in which such things seem lost, protecting the weak, fighting
Oh,
tyranny, or simply helping another sister out. Kindness will save the world just as much as knocking a cultist's teeth out. One just
yeah,
feels
okay.
better.
Yeah. Sold. 100% sold.
I love the premise. I'm not going to put it on the screen because it is by Parable Games, and the designers of Parable Games were both men or mass presenting people.
Yeah.
It was really clear. I just want to shout out games that also clearly focus
Yeah,
on protagonists that are women, femme presenting people, people identify with femininity or womanhood, pardon me. Um, Also worth shouting about. But today was about the creatives at that core. I'm still going
absolutely.
to be excited about this game, but
Yeah.
excitement will also be reserved for the people who are also game designers, who are also artists, who are
Mhm.
also marketers, who are also creative consultants. TTRP girls are all of these things.
They've proven themselves this month. It's
Hmm.
been absolutely wonderful to see everybody's faces, to hear about all these games and the support that we've had for it as well, because we happen to be an all women and femme organization just by happenstance.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for groups to support, companies to send your dollars, your dollary doers, we fit that bill as well. So feel free to drop us a sub. And excellently segued by myself, you could also go and subscribe to our Patreon. And if you did that, um, around Saturday, say, you would get an exclusive bit of content that nobody else is going to see. And I hold my hand up now, I vow that will always be a Patreon exclusive. We are not going to sell out and put it on YouTube later down the line. It's going to be Patreon exclusive. You can sign up to be a Patreon member, or you can just purchase that piece of content on its own at $3, $5 dues.
To be determined. Can we share the
To be
thumbnail at least as
Yeah,
a teaser?
absolutely.
I have it on my screen,
I'll
but you
have
might have
to
to
I'll have to
resize it.
resize it. Absolutely. Look at our silly little faces. All the staff at EUphoria, we all sat down and played Never Stop Blowing Up. Taylor was our GM, and we were a Charlie's Angels esque group of lady spies with amnesia. And we woke up and we didn't know what was going on, and we just had to get on with it. And this very short scenario contained not one, not two, but three moments where Taylor threw to us each individually and said, "And what are you wearing for this portion?" And we all just had a blast. We had
Mm-hmm.
so much fun with those portions alone. And then we got to kick people in the face. There was teacup pigs. There was a whole thing. There was a party in Kensington.
We
There was an
punched.
explosion.
Yes, there's an explosion. We got to punch down toxic
Yes,
masculinity. We got to punch down misogyny. We got to punch
absolutely.
down fake information. We got to explode things. And as part of the game, the mechanic, and it's a wonderful game. I think Taylor did a
It's so
wonderful job
good.
of showcasing the simplicity and the
Hmm.
excitement of the game, where your dice literally blow up. You roll, you get the max amount on that specific die. You get to roll another one higher. So
And that
throughout the game,
repeats, so you can keep blowing up, and you should never stop blowing up. You see what they did there?
yeah, and again, to really wet your whistle to come join the Patreon, or even just uh, buy one-time access to this game specifically. Every time those dice blow up, the overlay, the video blows up
Close up.
like that. It goes
Thank you,
poof.
Dimension 20, for your production tips. You make
And
us
I was
better
just like,
every day.
blow up, blow up,
It
blow up.
happened a lot.
Hmm.
So if you want to know how Ida's character, who didn't get a name until I named my character, Dinah, how she ended up with a teacup piglet reading Karl Marx, head to our Patreon. You can either subscribe at Michelle tells me the behind the scenes tier or above, or when it drops, you can buy that. That's that post on its own. If you're already a Patreon, don't worry, you don't have to do anything unless you're not at that tier. In which case, you could level up just for the month, and then you can go back down. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to see this game if you possibly can, because
Hmm.
we do a lot of high production stuff. Ida has been in the editing cave for pretty much the last month, making things look beautiful and pristine, and the cuts and the visuals, and it's art. It's award-winning art, god damn it. But
The,
sometimes you just want to watch four people fall about laughing and being silly and playing a game, and that's what this content is, 100%.
these faces happened a lot.
A lot.
These faces happened a lot, and supporting us on Patreon. What we do at Euphoria, in order to sort of elevate and demonstrate internationally
Mm.
to 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 the menses who say, "Ha ha ha, you don't get to play."
You know
Um,
how to do search engine optimization.
in order to elevate these things, we do try to invest in tools, licenses for sound effects, for graphics. The time we invest, we're not making bank at all. Believe me, this is not a salaried sort of job, despite the amount of hours we put in. But things like Patreon means that we're not paying out of pocket and we're not potentially running ourselves dangerously dry.
Yeah.
It means that we can reinvest this by in the future hopefully getting into pair tables. It pays for submissions to webfests.
Mhm.
Like on the lark, we're like, you know what? Let's try Cusco. Let's try Cusco. Oh no, we won the whole damn thing.
No, first it was, oh wow, we got nominated. Wow. Oh, well, that's good. Okay, at least we did that. No,
That
okay,
was the win
that's the end of it.
condition.
That was the win condition
We're like,
until it
if we can get
wasn't.
just nominated, I think we should be very proud of ourselves.
Mhm.
I'm not going to expect any more. And it's like, oh, what?
Oh, okay.
It was a fantastic game, but it was really because we have that sort of community support via the Patreon specifically,
Yeah.
where we can elevate that and not empty out our wallets by paying these kind of fees. They're not free to enter.
No.
The world gets to know about diverse, inclusive tables outside the US based in hyper-local European settings
Mhm.
with a very representative table.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's the
Like,
dream, and we're making it happen.
stories don't have to be Eurocentric, as in all D&D settings are based in Lord of the Rings feudal level Europe. That's not the kind of Eurocentric I'm talking about. It is a setting, and there are cultural norms and differences that, yes, do exist. But the people themselves, who we call Europe or based in Europe, they are not all cishet white people. They
Oh,
are
really?
immigrants, they are queers, they are people of marginalized genders. They are disabled people. They are neurodivergent people. They are people of color. They are racialized people.
Mhm.
These are people who are European and or based in Europe. That's the change I want to push through the stories we are telling.
Yeah.
When you hear European table and you think all white men speaking the Queen's English, that's not a European table to me. Tables like the ones we've had all this month, all this year since our inception,
Mhm.
like Vampire the Masquerade award-winning game, those are European tables.
And they forever will be now. We will not stop. We're not going to let people backslide. We're not going to let people hold themselves to lower standards. This is how it should be. This is how it should
Mhm.
always be. So thank you so much. Like everybody who's here in the chat right now, we really appreciate your support. Just being here, throwing us emojis. We really appreciate it. People who click the links when we have ads, that helps. That proves to advertisers that we're worth sponsoring. So thank you for doing that. Everybody who's watching the VOD on YouTube, everyone who subscribes, everyone who follows us on Blue Sky, it is a capitalism, unfortunately, and all those numbers really, really help to prove that we are worth taking seriously. So thank you.
Yep. By extension, what is being taken seriously is all of you, our audience, our community, our ecosystem, our networks.
Yeah.
Where you, me, we're all in this together, and alcohol. Thank you for being on this ride. We are 8 months into Euphoria.
That's almost a whole pregnancy. Oh, Marcus, thank you, buds.
Thank you, friend.
We appreciate you. Goodness. Award winning GM Marcus with the
Literally
gift
award-winning
subs.
GM, because the other accolade we got was on top of best video AP was a best GM.
Award winning Marcus. Incredible.
Award-winning Marcus, who will also be at RenCon. Come for selfies.
He has gifted you a sub. What's that about?
It's random.
I know. I know. That's wonderful.
It
Thank
is
you, Marcus. Thank
it
you.
is wonderful. Um, and TTRP Girls, I think, is one of my favorite months because we had this discussion, Darcy and Beck was like, it should be pre-recorded and edited. No, it should be live. It ended up being live. And one of my pushes for kind of being live and a bit raw feeling for the games,
Mhm.
at least, was I want to open the doors as wide as possible. And I'm not saying that who we have isn't the best and the best of the batch, but I want to sort of make it a bit entry level and less intimidating, is
Mhm.
sort of what I want to say. Because there are so many people through these kind of events who say, I've never played on an AP. I've
Mhm.
never played at a table where I wasn't the only woman or femme.
Mhm.
And that happens a lot. And
Too
for many
much.
people, that gets to be the first time at events like this. And we get to sort of discover this unraw talent,
Mhm.
because thankfully not everyone's experience is negative in the TTRP sphere, in the D&D sphere, whatever. But it does tend to be from the outside very male dominated. In the discussion I had with Lissa, very much the origins, at least Carrie Gygax's origins, were
Mm.
absolutely what's the word, codified to
Yeah,
be sexist.
truly.
So there is that history that we still have to, well, we don't have to work to shake it off. We've disproven that that was wrong, but it is a narrative that we're all collectively working to push against. Like I only recently learned why the podcast that lists on Slovenly Trolls is named Slovenly Trolls. Are you
Mhm.
familiar with
I
the
have heard the
terms?
story, yes.
For those that don't know, um, in the either first edition or second edition D&D, again, by product of his time, very sexist and proudly so, Gary Gygax included in the game. a harlot encounter rolling table, where I have it on my phone. Uh, the following text is sexist. Harlot encounters can be with brazen strumpets or haughty courtesans, thus making it difficult for the party to distinguish each encounter for what it is. And you can roll on what kind of harlot you encounter. Uh, 1 to 10 is a slovenly troll. 11 to 25 is a brazen strumpet.
That's a
A cheap,
great one.
a cheap trollop, a saucy tart, a wanton wench, an expensive dox.
Mechanically, what the fuck difference does it make, my dude? Okay, you're a misogynist. Like, we can kind of take that, water off a duck's back at this point. But
I'll
like,
speak for Michelle.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
that Never Stop Blowing Up game was so gifable. By the way, we're gonna make so many gifs out of that.
Mhm.
But why? What? Why is it mechanically? How many hit points does a slovenly troll have, and how is that different from a brazen strumpet? Make it make sense, my dude.
Because women's brains weren't wired to get the same enjoyment out of war games and the TTRPG games. They're only interested in LARPs, which again, denigrating for no good reason.
I hope that
Uh,
guy just spins in his grave constantly. I really
mm-hmm,
do.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I really do.
We had a heckinly glorious time. We made amazing friends. It's not fair to say we discovered, but we've encountered talents we didn't know that
Yeah.
weren't in our networks, and we're gonna have you back
Come
and
to
you back
us.
and you back. You're ours
Yeah.
now. We've played games, but a lot of these games were also by women and femme creatives. We've
Mhm.
talked to academics, professionals, highly successful ones, people with huge audiences who are way more successful than ours and just can celebrate what it all means together.
Mhm.
I love this month.
It was a great month. Everybody should really, really, really proud. Like, even if there are people who came in, this is their first APF, they're like, "Do you know what? That wasn't for me." Good for you. Like, you tried it out. You took a leap, and lucky you, you got to do it with us. And now you can move on and do whatever comes next, whether that is streaming on your own, whether it's streaming with us in the future, and some people will be streaming with us in the future. Um, I feel like we've done a good thing,
You did it good.
and we're going to continue to do the good things. Should we wrap them up with, like, can I tell them what we're casting next? Because
Yeah,
it's coming soon.
let's just say it.
Yeah.
And I, I mean, the numbers tell me not everyone watches the VOD, so let's just tell the projects that are absolutely greenlighted and are actually in production motion.
Oh, you want to do all of them? I wonder if Michelle's going to get upset that we're trouncing some
Oh no,
Patreon
no,
exclusives.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you for correcting me there.
But maybe just one. Michelle in the chat, can we get just one? Can I tell them the next casting?
Do it.
Michelle's like, nah, fuck it, do it. On the 7th of April, we will open casting to the public for Deathmatch Island, ran by Maddie Searle. It's going to be 4 episodes. You're going to go to 3 different islands, I believe. And it's going to be amazing. Maddie is phenomenal. I'm so excited that they're coming to play with us. And Deathmatch Island, like, again, everything is about punching fascists in the face now and being rebels and anarchists. It's such a wonderful system based on the Paragon system by Evil Hat. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. Open casting. If you're a Patreon, you get access to the form 2 days before. If you're on our Discord, you get access 1 day before. If you are just following us on Blue Sky or Instagram or wherever else, you will see it when everybody else does. But you must be queer to apply for that event because that is going to be June Pride Month.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
must identify as LGBTQIA plus to apply for that game.
Mm-hmm,
An
mm-hmm.
all gay table. Let's go.
It's not the only all gay table in the
It's
works for
not. Do you
June.
want to do a drop as well then?
I'll do a little itty bitty drop.
Do it.
This has already been casted. Sometimes you do internal casting because that's the purpose of the GM, and we do what we can to make their lives comfy because they are doing a heck of a lot of work otherwise. We are going to be running a pre recorded game of Monster of the Week. However, it's going to be an all non binary table. And that is also going to air in June. Another Evil Hat game. Evil Hat makes amazing games.
They really do.
As part of insert really cool Pride Month title here that has not hit Ida for inspiration yet.
It's a shame.
It's gonna
It'll
come.
come to it. Suggestions on a postcard, please. Thank you.
We are going to be casting soon, the dates to be determined for other games in the future. I have to talk to at least one more person about telling them that their game was greenlit. There's been a
Oh,
lot on the table. I haven't gotten back to that one other person
awesome.
and
Interesting.
start that ball rolling.
Yeah.
When we say we're going to cast the game, we really do as much as we can. We ensure that the GM feels supported. We ensure that their game gets proper spotlight, that safety tools and all these other considerations, accessibility. We don't mess around with any of that. So
Mm-mm.
if we're slow, it's because we're implementing a lot of these things. We're a small team. We're heckin' talented. But it
Yeah.
takes some time.
Yeah. Like a lot of channels put out a lot of content. They just live stream all their stuff, and that's that. Hey, it's great content. It works for them. Ida's
Yes.
obsessed now with getting everything at the same level of production, and it takes time, and it's worth it. But
Oh,
it takes more time. So we're not as prolific as other channels, but we're super safe and we're super proud of what we do.
Oh, speaking of accessibility,
Oh,
we are also going to be announcing very soon a panel
oh
being
yeah.
hosted by Michelle. Go for it, Darcy.
No. You were doing it. Sorry, I was excited because I'd forgotten about it because I've not
Th-
paying
th-
too much attention. Go
There's
for it.
so much. There's so much.
I know.
Michelle is going to be hosting, along with our amazing friend Kieran, they them, a panel about accessibility in TTRPGs.
And the
And
disabled experience in TTRPGs, I think, is a
abs-
core of it as well.
absolutely,
So
that is the core title.
yeah.
Um, Having had the pleasure of having met Kieran, Kieran is a wonderful, kind being who I just kind of want to physically have at my side for many times because such a good calming soul when I'm just
Yeah.
calming. I think this perspective is often missed in TTRPGs. I'm glad it is getting some attention, like the battle wheelchair, etc.
Mhm.
But I'm
Mhm.
all for more of these discussions, especially also with different regional audiences, like the ones we're doing here at EUphoria. We're going to be casting for that soon, looking
Mhm.
for people to share their perspectives and join for a nuanced, moderated, careful discussion about
Mhm.
those things within the TTRPG sphere.
And a positive discussion as well. I think one of the things Kieran highlighted in their pitch was that when you get all disabled panels, it's like, oh, and how do we deal with accessibility and what are the downsides and this, that, and very much that sort of sanitizing force of please accept us at your tables. But Kieran's pitch is very no, we're at your tables. We belong to be at your tables, and we're not going to discuss that anymore. We're going to talk about the joy that this brings us and the things that our disabilities, while that can be challenging, the different perspective that it gives us that is also an upside to our lives. It was a wonderful pitch, and we all immediately went, yes, we absolutely have to get this on the air. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, Kieran is absolutely one of the rightest people to carry
A
that message.
100%. Yeah.
Um, and you know what? One more drop because it's gonna come soon. We're gonna actually
The
hear about
yeah.
socials very soon. Um, it's been a long month. We've worked very hard and we're hungry.
I'm so hungry. What should I have? I haven't had dinner. What should I have?
Um,
Who should I ask?
you should ask the French friend, the French dude in our Discord server,
The
who
French dude.
the French
There's a
dude.
few of those.
There's a few of those. We're going to be hosting a TTRPG chat stream called Diced. And we're going to
Because
talk about the intersectionalities of food culture within TTRPGs, especially regional ones. The
you
French
can
dude, our
you can
star.
gift this later. Dice.
Diced,
Do you
because you have
see?
click clackies. Diced.
Guess who titled that one, friends? Guess who came up with that?
That was a good one.
That was
And
where that went.
and I totally did not steal the motif and color scheme from Cooking Mama at all for these
Mm.
graphics. No, not
Nope.
it wasn't a blatant
It's
copy
so
paste at
cute.
all.
It's so cute.
So we're going to have Arsan and a couple of guests
Mhm.
from all around Europe or based in Europe talk about foods that matter to them within their locales and how we bring the joy and history and culture and excitement about food within TTRPGs as well. Because a lot of the best games I have been or you have been at audience is where the GM describes the smell that is coming from the canteen, from the inn of that stew that is brewing, or describing the staleness of those rations in your backpack, or describe, these are all really core elements and moments. So let's celebrate that with some also hyper regional, hyper local foods. I'll be on there. I'm going to talk about stroopwafels.
If you've met Ida at a con, you know all about stroopwafels.
I've given you stroopwafels. If I've met you in person, there's a 60% chance I have physically given you a stroopwafel. I'm going to talk about those for a bit.
All right, I think we've given them enough. I think
We
that's
have
enough.
given it enough.
These people they have feasted well upon teasers, and we shall let them depart.
Yes, it's been a good month. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you,
Thank you,
Taylor.
friend.
Thank
Yes.
you, all the players.
Mhm.
After this weekend, I will put out a post highlighting every single person who has been as part of our channel. I have to get on it. It will be done because I think that's really important.
Yep. And you should go and follow them all and support them all in all their projects, whether they're with us or not in the future, wherever they go, whatever they do. Not just this month. You've done a fantastic job, all of you, supporting our TTRP girls in this Women's History Month, but it doesn't end here. Keep it going.
Keep it going this month, every month,
All the time.
all the time. Thank you again. If you're new to us, if you haven't followed us, who are these two very strange, hyper people, but very cute because, oh my God, look at us. We are EUphoria. We are a community that serves to uplift and spotlight TTRPG creatives, especially those from marginalized and underrepresented communities based in Europe and outside the US.
That's true. And I've been Darcy. I use they, she pronouns. We're the co founders here. We also have Michelle and Taylor along with us for the ride. And we're really proud of what we've built here. We're really proud of our friends and our community. If you're not part of our Discord, come and drop in. It's a lot. Sometimes you'll pick up your phone and there'll be 300 messages, but you can just dive in. It's a really welcoming place. And there's community games, and there's pictures of cats and pictures of dogs and everything that you would ever want from a Discord server. Incredibly active, incredibly friendly. Come and join us, please. We want to see
Yes.
you there.
Yes, I will emerge from the cave after this weekend and rejoin the general chat. I have to catch up on booping all the beautiful animals in the familiar channel. My name is Ida. You can find me at In the Pan. I'm, as I said, one of the co-founders here at EUphoria. I'm really thankful for all the support, for all the joy that everyone is showing with the hard work we're putting in. Thank you so much. Also, big thank you again to Anya and for Lionne Publishing for sponsoring our stream. You got it, friends? I heard tippy tappings.
I'm on it.
Excellent. Excellent. Be sure to check out Sail the Oceans Queer and have a wonderfully gay time, and support the game if you're able to. Hype it up, tell your friends about it, and maybe we can fix the bad hot person.
I definitely can. I assure you, I can.
And
With that, we'll say goodnight, friends. And we'll
let's
see
say good
you
night.
for the next one.
See you soon. Bye 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 bye. Mwah.
Bye.